Hey, it's Llama here. Welcome to preparing for Ark Survival Ascended. In this series I started out fresh on the island on official PVE. This is Ark Survival Evolved, but I'm limited to only items and creatures available in the base game on the island to give a realistic perspective on what starting out on Ark Survival Ascended might be like. So today's video is a taming video, a very important one. As Ark Survival Ascended will only launch initially with the island map, and we're not sure if cryopods will be in the base game, we need something skinny to fit in all those artifact caves. A Baryonyx. These guys are great for running caves. So let's head on out, and while we're on our way, let's have a look at the spawn map. So you can see on here, they're found in all waterways, but you can see the yellower areas are in the swamp, which is where they're slightly more common than the normal waterways. Here's the area where we're going to focus on today. It's in the swamp area, it's fairly close to base. We should be able to find one fairly easily. The only trouble we'll have is finding a decent level. Because we're not using cryopods, the Baryonyx is actually the best caving creature and will fit in almost every cave. I think the only two exceptions to that are the two ice caves. One which is called the Crouch Cave, which you can't really take anything in, and then you've got the hard ice cave, or the big ice cave, which there's also a crouch section at the beginning, and you can't take any dinosaurs in there either, unless you have cryopods, of course. We also won't be using the Baryonyx in the two underwater caves. Even though the Baryonyx is good underwater, it's just not tanky enough to make it through those caves. So, as anticipated, they were fairly easy to find, but finding a high level was proving tricky. So, I found this level 5, no good. Then I found this level 5. Really? So we move on. And then I found this one, which wasn't a level 5, but at level 70 it's still not good enough for what we need. So I'm looking for something sort of, minimum 130. This is going to need to be a good Baryonyx. We're going to need to get a breeding pair, and we need something with decent stats to make it through these caves. So let's kill everything and see what spawns. Okay, so we've stopped for a quick stamina break, and I think I've spotted something over there somewhere. And it's a 130. Alright, that's not bad. We'll take that. Okay, so someone's built around here, so we need to find somewhere where we can put our trap down. Let's try and clear a bit of an area here, as close as we can. Now the thing about the swamp, so double-edged sword. One is that the Baryonyx are easier to find in the swamp. The second thing is the swamp is full of things that just want to kill you. It's a really dangerous area, and so you've got, obviously, you can see Titanoboas that will knock you out if you're off your mount, and then also probably the scariest thing in the swamp, Capro. Oh, just speak of them. There we go, Capros. That will grab you off of your mount. Gee, there we go. You must have heard me talking about him. Yeah, they'll grab you off your mount and take you flying. So best to keep a melee weapon like the pike. And you saw that I just took that one out with the pike as soon as it grabbed hold of me. Alright, let's kill all this stuff and then see if we can get our trap down. So the Baryonyx is a knockout tame. We're going to trap this one, so I generally use a 2x2 pitfall trap, so 4 foundations, and then I do 1 wall high all the way around, using just doorways, and then some stairs or a ramp to lead it into the trap. You can knock these out with either a crossbow or a long neck rifle. Before we get to that, let's finish clearing the area out. Okay, let's clear out these trees. I think this looks like a relatively flat spot. We'll try and get the trap down here. Somewhere where we can easily lead it in. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Alright, let's grab our components for our trap, get the foundations down first. Coming in here looks good. Oh, didn't place. Okay, let's wait, see if that's server lag. Alright, looks like maybe it's not. Okay, so sometimes you'll find that even though structures have that green sort of saying that you can place them, they will not place. Usually that's because you're in a drop spawn location. So that's, I'm guessing that's what that is. If in this area, let's try and move a little further away from that and see if we can get, there we go, so we can get a foundation down there. Yeah, it's a real pain. I wonder if they'll fix that in Ark Ascended. Alright, let's get our walls. So, as I said, one wall high around the trap is all you need. So you would think the Baryonyx would be able to get over a single wall, but they can't. And we use doorways because they're cheaper to make than walls, and you can shoot through them. Alright, let's whack some stairs on the front. Yep, that's it. Nice. There we go. Alright, let's go get our Baryonyx. Now, where did she go? Watch out for everything else as well. So we did kill everything in the immediate area, but stuff respawns pretty quickly around here. Let's clear our path and see if we can find her. Hopefully she didn't go too far. It did take me a little while to kill everything in the area, so let's hope she didn't wander off. Come on, where are you? Problem is the visibility is so poor in the swamp because you've got all these mangrove trees and basically covering the entire area. You've got to kind of get down low and see underneath them. And then that's where all the dangerous stuff is. Oh, hang on a minute. There we go. That's it. Let's see if we can get her attention without getting in the water. Now you do have to be careful with these guys because, yeah, there we go, we've got her attention. Let's lead her into the trap. If the Baryonyx is in deeper water, then it can do a stun attack that will actually dismount you. So you do need to be very careful. In the swamp in shallow water, if it's not swimming, then it won't be able to do it. But if it's in slightly deeper water, it can. Alright, let's... Okay, good. She's really after us in the trap. And perfect. Absolutely spot on. Alright. Do we have... I thought I saw something. Dillo. There we go. Let's get rid of that. Alright. Now, oh, another Dillo. Jeez. This area is terrible. Alright. Let's chuck all that. We don't need that now. We can grab... Now you can knock these out with the crossbow, but I'm going to use trank darts as they do less damage. And shouldn't take too long to knock her out. So while we're... Let's put the RG on passive. While we're knocking this one out, Now I mentioned before about we wouldn't use the Baryonyx for the underwater caves. Now Baryonyx are really good in water. They have no oxygen stat, which means they can't run out of oxygen effectively. So you can use them for swimming underwater without having to surface. They have this awesome stun attack that I mentioned before that you can use while you're underwater. It will stun medium-sized creatures, let's say, so megalodons. It won't stun very small creatures, and it won't stun sort of mosas and things like that. But you can stun alpha megalodons. It's really useful for that. These guys, because they're so good underwater, whilst we won't use them for the underwater cave, we will use one to get ourselves a Basilosaurus, which is what we will use for the underwater caves. So these guys, yeah, great underwater. Not quite as good as tanky as a Basilo, and Basilos have their own sort of, set of benefits, if you like, where they're immune to sort of jellyfish stings. Oh, what's she doing? She's glitched out in the trap there. Alright, probably torpor running now. Yeah. Not far from being knocked out, I'd say. But as you can see, she cannot get over that one high wall. Oh, I thought she knocked out then for a second. Almost. Oh, come on. And there we go. She's out. Fantastic. Nice and easy. So let's head back to base and go and grab ourselves some kibble. Okay, so this guy will require 10 regular kibble to tame. It's going to take just over 14 minutes to tame on 1 times, but it'll be knocked out for like just over an hour, so we don't actually require any narcotics to keep her under. While we're here, let's make ourselves a saddle. So we have to learn the engram. Let's see. There you go, level 49. Fiber, hide, and metal ingots. So we've got all that. Fiber, hide, ingots. Oh, it's not there. Wait a minute, where do we craft it? Oh, did we craft it in the smithy? Hang on. It's not on the list there. Oh, wait a sec, it's in the smithy. Noob. Alright, there we go. Craft ourselves one of those. We've got our 10 kibble. Grab a saddle. And then we'll head on out. Nice. Let's go. Get this thing tamed. So let's add it to the tame tracker. This will make it easier to find, and the tame tracker also gives us some really useful stats. So it'll show if we've hit it after it was knocked out, its taming effectiveness will go down. It shows its level of torpor, its level of taming, and it also gives its health stat and its food stat, which is really useful if you're starve taming and you're using dodo decks to tell when it's ready to be fed. So any creature you're taming, you can put its max level food stat in, and the dodo decks will tell you what its food stat needs to drop to before it's ready to be tamed. Okay, now I returned back to the trap to feed the Baryonyx the kibble. It should have been ready to tame at this point, but before I did that, first I sort of went around the area to make sure there was nothing dangerous here. I didn't think there was anything dangerous there, and then I actually decided what I wanted to do was I wanted to look at its pre-tame stats. So I put the RG on neutral in case something attacked me, and I went to check its pre-tame stats and take a screenshot so that we could compare them and see what they were like, and then that happened. So a snake came out of nowhere, bit me. As you can see, I'm rapidly heading towards sleepy time, and my RG took on the snake, which was great initially, but then while I had a little bit of a nap, the snake went into the trap and the RG followed it in. Now, I'm not entirely sure who did what, but you can see a lot of action going on around the Baryonyx. And yes, even though it would have been ready to tame, unfortunately its taming effectiveness was somewhat ruined. So I cut the audio here because there's a little bit of swearing going on. The RG killed the snake, and then I was just waiting here to wake up after my nap. Alright, there we go. Awake again. Let's get the RG. Whoop. And 78.6% taming effectiveness. So that's exactly what I was talking about with the tame tracker. So we haven't fed it anything. Its taming effectiveness has already dropped. Obviously it got hit. Can't tell whether it was by the RG or the snake, but it doesn't really matter. The point is we now have to let this thing wake up so that we can knock it back out again. Now this will reset its taming effectiveness back to 100%. Its food will continue to drop, which means when we do finally put the kibble in, it will pretty much instantly tame. And it's still got plenty of health, so we can afford to knock it out again with the trank darts and the long neck rifle. So there's no point in waiting here for the next hour. I'm going to head back to base and do some stuff. Anyway, the quicker we get out of render, the less chance there is of something else attacking it. Okay, a little bit of time passed. Gee, this thing's taking forever to wake up. We'll come back when it's getting close to being awake. Oh, this really has been a game of patience. It's amazing that one mistake can wipe out an hour of gameplay time just sitting around and waiting. Alright, I think we'll head back to the swamp area and get a bit closer. Right, still not awake, but getting much closer.
Hello there.
Oh, okay, another capro. What the? Did you see that? Oh no, he's gone in the trap. Seriously? Alright, let's see if we can... what are we going to look at? Yeah, let's use... I think if I try and shoot him... Let's get some arrows. Yeah. And... let's shoot him with the crossbow, I think. Before the Baryonyx wakes up, hopefully. I don't know if they aggro on each other, but I don't really want to take the risk. Oh, that was a miss. Okay. Well, at least he's not jumping out of the trap. I would have expected capros to be able to get out of a one high wall. There we go. Alright, that's dead. Gee. Hopefully no more. Gee, can you imagine? Can you imagine if the... oh look, it's about to wake up. Can you imagine if it had woken up and I'd knocked it out and then I would have gone to feed it the kibble and that capro would have jumped in the trap? I can imagine it. That is exactly the sort of thing that this game would do to me. Alright, I don't think there's anything else around. But then I didn't see the capro. Okay, our Baryonyx is awake. Let's get at our trank darts and let's knock her out again. Now, like I said before, when we finally knock her out, her food stat has continued to go down while she was knocked out, while we were waiting for her to wake up, so she will instantly tame. So I think I mentioned before they take around about 14-15 minutes to tame with kibble. She's been knocked out now for over an hour, so her food stats drained well below where it would need to be to starve tamer. So the moment we knock her out, we can chuck the kibble in and we can tame her straight away. This is pretty much a carbon copy of last time. She's aggroing on the same corner of the trap. Let's hope the outcome is different. I don't want it to all be the same. And we could, because I'm using the trank darts. Oh look, yep, she's glitched out again on the trap. This is, you know what? I could almost replay exactly the same footage from previously. Shaking her head, she's going no, 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 and she's out. Excellent. All right. Now let's chuck in the kibble. Let's get away quickly before something comes and attacks me. Sit on the RG. Alright, she's eating. Let's have a quick look at the tame tracker. She should tame up almost instantly. There you go, look at that. Nice. Baryonyx. Oh, gee, that was a labour of love. Alright, let's pick her up with the RG. Oh, missed. Go back. Okay. Can you not pick these up with an RG? I'm sure you used to be able to. Didn't I do this with the bear? I'm sure you used to be able to pick them up with an RG. Now, I did go back after this and check, and I was right. Once upon a time you could pick them up with an RG, but back in 2017, 2018, around about that time, there was a patch which changed it so that the RG could no longer pick up the Baryonyx. So I wasn't imagining things, but you can no longer pick them up with an RG. Alright, well, I guess we need to... I didn't bring the saddle. Left the saddle back at base when we went back to wait for it to wake up. Alright, better go back and get the saddle so we can walk it home. Alright, come back. I brought the Pteranodon back because it was a bit quicker, to be honest. Let's whack the saddle on. Okay, hop on. Can we jump out of here? They're pretty good jumpers if I take a bit of a run up. Oh, no. Oh, really? Oh dear. Okay, so we'll have to probably demolish part of the trap. Okay, now we've got a snake attacking the Pteranodon. Alright, why don't you see if you can sort yourself out. That's it, and right, okay, so while he's keeping the snake distracted, let's demolish that wall. Alright, now we can get out. Nice. Now we can help out the Pteranodon. Let's get rid of the snake. Okay, so no cryopods. We're walking home. So come on, Pteranodon. Let's go. Alright, I'm not going to run through the swamp because, to be honest, I do want to try and keep away from any capros that might dismount me. So we'll run along next to the swamp and just try and avoid any bad stuff. Now, here we go, almost back at base, and these guys come into their own in the water. Look how fast she is. Fantastic. Really good water mank, like I said before. So So we'll be using this one to get ourselves a bacillo fairly soon. And there we go, back at base. Nice. Alright, Pteranodon, you go and land. We can head inside with the Baryonyx. Nice. Looking good. Alright, that was a long tame in the making, but well worth it. So, tamed in at 194. Let's have a quick look at the stats. Just over 3k health. 342 melee is pretty good. So, that's, yeah, I'll take that. With imprint, that'll be fairly decent. Probably close to 400, I would say. So, nice base to start with. Health could probably be a bit better. But let's see if we can find a decent male. I'll take a screenshot of that. Brilliant. Okay, and so that's our Baryonyx sorted. Now we just need to find ourselves a decent male so that we can breed them together and get ourselves an imprinted one to run the caves with. So I hope you enjoyed today's video or got something out of it, and if you did, drop me a like and maybe subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you in the next video. I'm Llama, and I'm out of here.